consumer motivation, involvement, and personality. As a marketer, you will always be required to understand why consumers make the purchases that they make, what factors influence consumer purchases, the changing factors in our society. Therefore, it becomes important to understand what motivates the consumers to use a particular product. Types of consumer buying behavior are determined by levels of involvement in purchase decision. Personality of consumer also plays a very important role in determining the buying behavior. This makes us discuss consumer motivation, involvement, and personality. It follows from the previous slide that after studying this lesson, you should be able to analyze the role of motivation in consumer behavior, analyze the concept of involvement, analyze the role of personality, understand the concepts of self-image and brand image. Motivation refers to an activated state within a person that leads to a goal-directed behavior. It consists of the drives, urges, wishes, or desires that initiate the sequence of events leading to a behavior, and begins with the presence of a stimulus that spurs the recognition of a need. Need recognition occurs when a perceived discrepancy exists between an actual and a desired state of being. Needs can be either innate or learned. They are never fully satisfied. The individual's subconscious drive to reduce need-induced tensions result in behavior that he or she anticipates will satisfy needs, and thus bring about a more comfortable internal state. All behavior is goal-oriented. Goals are the sought-after results of motivated behavior. The form or direction that the behavior takes, the goal that is selected, is a result of the thinking process and previous learning. There are two types of goals: generic goals and product-specific goals. A generic goal is a general category of goal that may fulfill a certain need. A product-specific goal is a specifically branded or labeled product that individual sees as a way to fulfill his need. Needs and goals are interdependent and change in response to the individual's physical condition, environment, interaction with other people, and experiences. As needs become satisfied, new higher-order needs emerge that must be fulfilled. Motives cannot easily be inferred from a consumer behavior. People with different needs may seek fulfillment through selection of the same goals. People with the same needs may seek fulfillment through different goals. Although some psychologists have suggested that individuals have different need priorities, others believe that most human beings experience the same basic needs, to which they assign a similar priority ranking. Maslow's hierarchy of need theory proves 5 levels of human needs: psychological needs, safety needs, social needs, egoistic needs, and self-actualization needs. Other needs widely integrated in consumer advertising include the needs for power, affiliation, and achievement. Freudian theory states that a consumer's behavior preferences are dictated by unconscious motives, and those visual, auditory, and tactile elements of a product may evoke emotions which stimulate or inhibit purchase. Motivational research is qualitative research designed to delve below the consumer's level of conscious awareness. Despite some shortcomings, motivational research has proved to be of great value to marketers concerned with developing new ideas and new copy appeals. Consumer Involvement Theory, or CIT, is one way to understand the psychology and behavior of your target audience. There are 2 dimensions to CIT: involvement and rational emotional. Involvement refers to how much time, thought, energy, and other resources people devote to the purchase process. The emotional rational scale is a measure of reason versus impulse, desire versus logic, passion versus prudence. Depending on the degree of involvement and whether a habit has been formed or not, 4 types of buying behavior emerge: complex decisions, brand loyalty, limited decisions, and inertia. Social judgment theory is one of many theories that tries to explain how people choose one belief instead of another. This theory can explain why people have a hard time letting go of some beliefs and reject other beliefs so readily. For social judgment theory, there is always one truth that conforms with reality. However, there are many cases where several people might disagree about what the truth is. When a person decides what he will believe, he compares the new idea with what he already wants to believe and then decides whether to reject the idea. The connection between brand equity and brand loyalty has been tested many times. Brand equity is a marketing pattern with the purpose of promising its loyalty by enhancing consciousness, brand association, and other equities. The study acknowledges the importance of a brand in creating equity. An individual's personality relates to perceived personal characteristics that are consistently exhibited, especially when one acts in the presence of others. In most, but not all cases, the behavior one projects in a situation is similar to the behaviors a person exhibits in another situation. Various theories of personality developed over the years. The psychoanalytical theory proposed by Sigmund Freud is based on the unconscious motives an individual has. It is based on the hypothesis that all human behavior is driven by the unconscious motives that a person has and that these motives are influenced by that person's biological drive. This theory, known as the psychoanalytic theory of personality, projects the personality as the nucleus or the center of the interaction between the three systems of the ID, the superego, and the ego. However, a group of theorists called the Neo-Freudian theorists disagreed with Freud. These theorists were Carl Jung, Karen Horney, Alfred Adler, and Henry Sullivan. They stated that apart from unconscious biological needs, personality was a result of social relationship. Carl Jung introduced the four dichotomies: 1. Sensing intuiting, 2. Thinking feeling, 3. Extroversion introversion, and 4. Judging perceiving. His theory provides such insights into the personality of a person that are very useful for advertising function of marketing. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator MBTI model used to understand personality was developed by Isabel Briggs Myers. It uses two of the dichotomies given by Jung. They are sensing and intuiting and thinking and feeling. Karen Horney believed that people's personality was actually their adaptation to their culture and as a result of the defense mechanism they developed to deal with the difficult relationships. This formed the basis for CAT, a tool to understand one's personality. CAT considers three types of people: compliant, aggressive, and detached. Alfred Adler stated that the social angle played an important role in a person's personality, and that each person pursued rational goals. Henry Sullivan stated that all behavior was directed at eradicating anxiety from one's life and reaching a state of tranquility or peace. Trait theory brought the empirical approach to the personality study. This theory tries to study the personality in terms of exclusive individual characteristics called the traits. The theory lists traits like innovation, influence, materialism, and consumer ethnocentrism as major influencers of a behavior. Another theory which highlights the study of the following traits: openness to experience, consciousness, experience, agreeableness, and neuroticism to know a person's personality is known as the five-factor theory. Personality is the sum of sensory experiences others get from experiencing a person. While one's personality is often interpreted by those we interact with, the person has their own vision of their personality, called self-concept, which may or may not be the same as how others view us. A brand is the identity of a specific product, service, or business. A brand can take many forms, including a name, sign, symbol, or slogan. We can divide or study the personality of a brand in 5 dimensions, namely sincerity of the brand, excitement, competence, sophisticated or rugged. Like brand personality, brand image is not something a brand has or it doesn't. A brand is unlikely to have one brand image, but several, though one or two, may predominate. The key in brand image research is to identify or develop the most powerful image and reinforce them through subsequent brand communications. Now let us check if we have understood the various concepts discussed in this lesson clearly. Self-concept comprises of total thoughts and feelings of an individual about himself. Is this statement true or false?
Right.
Brand image shows how an individual perceives himself. True or false?
Wrong.
Self-image comprises of images evoked by exposure to named brand. Right or wrong?
Wrong.
Before we end, let us briefly revise what we have studied till so far. Motivation is the driving force within individuals and is the result of state of tension resulting from unfulfilled needs, wants, and desires. Motives are aroused as a result of needs that are psychological, emotional, and cognitive. Maslow has proposed a needs hierarchy, which is divided into 5 levels. He has proposed that the higher level needs become active once the lower order needs are satisfied. Freud's psychoanalytic theory is viewed as important in exploring the subconscious motives about which the individuals have no conscious awareness. Motivational research is widely used by the marketers from different applications. Consumer involvement is considered as an important variable that can explain how consumers process information that might influence their behavior. The concept of involvement has evolved from split brain theory or hemispheric lateralization. Consumers' involvement can be high or low depending on the relevance of needs, values, interests, experiences, product, information, or situation. The personality is a dynamic concept that describes the growth and development of an individual's whole psychological system, which includes motives, beliefs, attitudes, habits, and overall outlook. Personality is generally believed to be consistent and enduring over time. Various theories of personalities have been proposed. Marketers have generally paid more attention to 4 theories of personality. There are 2 basic approaches to understanding personality. 1. All individuals have internal characteristics or traits that can be measured. And 2. There are consistent differences between individuals on these characteristics that can be measured. Self-concept theory is considered as most relevant and focuses on how the self-image of individuals influences their purchases and other behavior. Self-concept refers to the totality of an individual's thoughts and feelings with regards to herself or himself as an object.